So there was this companion book, Genesis Revisited, and thus it was followed one after the other. Now, as I have reviewed or given you this mini autobiographical review of my work as I was writing it, I started with the Bible. I went into Sumerian, Akkadian, Assyrian, Egyptian, Hittite, anything, including, of course, the Americas in the book, The Lost Realms. I was giving or reporting, when I was asked, how would I describe myself? Am I a Hebrew scholar? Yes. Am I a biblical scholar? Yes. Am I an archaeologist? Yes. I mean, I don't go and dig, but I delve into archaeology. But I said I'm some of all of that. But what I consider myself is a reporter, because I think that the task that I ended undertaking is to report to people today what people in antiquity knew and witnessed and recorded for posterity. So I'm a reporter. But at some point it occurred to me that what I've been doing, using all these tablets, etc., is to tell the story as our ancestors, mankind, people, as they understood what was going on, as they knew, as they learned from the Anunnaki or whatever. But at some point I said to myself, what did the Anunnaki, what did the so-called gods with a small g, what did they think? Here is a story that people from one planet, their planet, home planet Nibiru, travel to another planet for reasons that you all know by now. They come to a planet, they end up establishing settlements there. They end up, due to the mining and the deluge and all that, they end up bringing about intelligent beings by upgrading those hominids who evolved anyway on Earth. They give them knowledge and bring us about, and at some point create some distance by saying, we are gods and you'll worship us. So what is their story? What did they say about their traveling in space, coming to another planet? And I felt that this was not just interesting, it was important, because I firmly believe that one day we are going to do that. We are going to travel to another planet for our own reasons, whether we'll need gold or we'll need uranium or we'll need water, I don't know what we'll need, but we will go there and find life there. And what would be our story? Isn't it already written? If I could ask the Anunnaki, if I could ask Enki or Enlil, tell me. Now, don't tell me, look at a Sumerian tablet. You tell me your story now. And I found that it has been done, because at least one of them, called Enki, wrote an autobiography, which starts with his description of how he, with a group of 50 with him, approached Earth, how he saw the Earth, how he saw an area of marshes, how they splashed down in the waters, how they waded ashore, how he told his lieutenants, who are all named. I don't recall them offhand now, but they're all named. And he said, you find us shelter, you find us food, you do this, you do that, etc. But unfortunately, the tablet, or several of them, because some of those long texts were written on some like on 7 tablets. And by the way, we know the order because the last line on tablet 1 is the first line repeated on tablet 2. So, you know, if this tablet repeats that, then this was 1 and this was 2. So, I mean, the people were not ignorant. So unfortunately, the rest of this autobiography was not discovered, and I thought that there are enough sources, there are enough reflections, references, pieces here, pieces there, that enabled me using, I can tell you, about 800 sources to reconstruct the autobiography of Enki, which is now in the book titled The Lost Book of Enki. And that there were lost books, we know even from the Bible, that refers by name to this book and that book, which we didn't find anymore. So I went from telling the story of mankind under those extraterrestrials, under those gods with a small g, to telling the story of the gods themselves about coming to another planet. Now, this more or less brings me to the list of the published books, including the one about my travels, the autobiographical one that might have a sequel. Now, those series of books, including the Lost Book of Enki, end with the upheaval, with the end of the Sumerian civilization, with the first dispersion and diaspora and so on, a major change with the ascendancy of the Enkiites instead of the Enlilites through the supremacy of Marduk, etc., all caused by the use of nuclear weapons in their internal conflicts and wars around 2000 BC, exactly in 2024 BC, which, at least in my talks, previous seminars, I showed is confirmed by modern science, by modern findings. And the question was, what happened after that? For quite a long time, whenever I was asked questions that have to do, whether the questioner knew it or not, that have to do with what happened afterwards, I avoided them. There were questions of the kind, where are the Anunnaki now? Will they return? And this takes us, of course, to prophecies of the return, the second coming, etc. This kind of line of questioning unavoidably involves the issue, the matter of Jesus. I've been asked countless times at meetings and interviews and in letters, where does Jesus fit into it? So I've been, to be candid with you, I've been avoiding all these questions by wise guys answering.